I was hanging out with some friends of mine that worked at Carroll Shelby's um, uh, facility in LA where they were building the Cobras and those sorts of things, and saying that I was going to go to USC Film School. I said, well, you should talk to this guy. He's a real famous cameraman. You know, he's the only person we know who's actually in the film business. And I said, okay. I said, but this pal of mine that was a mechanic, he said, well, you know, I work on his car. He's got a Jaguar that we're putting a Corvette engine in. And I said, oh, wow. He said, well, come on, Saturday, just come on over and you can meet the guy and, you know, it may help you in the film business. And so I came over there and met Haskell. And Haskell said, you know, I said, well, I'm going to go to film school. And he said, oh, I know everybody over at USC. I'll help you get in there and I'll do this and I'll try to get you some jobs. And we've been dear friends ever since. I used to, being up here and making movies up here, when I had to go cast people and do screen tests and all that kind of stuff, he had a studio down in LA, a little commercial studio. And I used to go down there and hang out with him and do all my casting out of his little office where he did all these United Airlines commercials and whatnot. So we've been sort of doing it for each other ever since. When I did American Graffiti, I'd done my first film, and having come out of film school and learned camera and editing, that was my real strength. And so I did my first film. I hired a couple of documentary cameramen, and I said, you're going to be the operators, but I'll light the thing. And I was able to do that, and it worked out pretty well. And then I said, well, I'm going to do American Graffiti. I'm going to shoot it at night. I'll hire a couple of cameramen. They'll be the operators. And we'll shoot it with really low light levels, low cameras. It'll be great. Don't worry about it, guys. And after 1 week, they said, George, please do something. You know, you got all these actors, a very short schedule, and not only that, we have a very short depth of field, which is about 3/4 of an inch. So if the actors move at all, they're out of focus. And they say, please give us a break. So I called Haskell, who was shooting commercials in LA. He was between movies, but he was shooting commercials every day. And I said, Haskell, I got some problems. Could you sort of help me a little bit to kind of figure out how I can lift the light level here a little bit more and still not make it into a giant, you know, arc light thing, but use little things, which is actually the class I taught at USC. But I sort of reached my limit. I sort of had gone to a point where I couldn't even handle it. And he said, sure, I'll come up. And he came up on Monday. This was like the second week of a 5-week schedule. He came up Monday morning. I mean, we shot at night. So he came up and showed up at 9 o'clock at night when we started shooting. And he helped all night. He shoot. The first week the second week, but we were shooting the Mel's Drive-In. So he lit it all, looked really fabulous. And every day, you know, it was like, well, could you kind of come tomorrow too and help out tomorrow? And I said, sure, I'll come up tomorrow. And, you know, every single day or night for 5 weeks, he came up from LA after shooting commercials all day long for no money. I think we did pay his airfare after a while, and helped me make that movie. It would never happen without Haskell. I just, you know, I got in over my head, and Haskell pulled me out of it. And I wanted it to look like a documentary, but not so much that it was hard to watch. I had one little run-in with him. He was perfect to work with. I mean, I'd worked with him many, many times, you know, as the lower runaround guy and you know, assistant runaround guy and all that stuff. But and he was great to work for. But some people, directors, have had run-ins with Haskell, differences of opinions. He was perfect with me. We did have a difference of opinion. We did have a run-in, and I was shooting day for night, and I said, I hate day for night. I don't want to do this. But, you know, he said, well, look, you've got like 3 little light bulbs, and you want to do a thing walking all the way down a canal bank. He said, we'll never light it with 3 light bulbs. We'll have to bring some arcs in and things. I said, I don't want lights. I don't want lights. Well, you're going to have to shoot it day for night. I said, well, okay. He said, okay, here's what we do. And he set it up. He said, okay, we'll close it down to, 6, F6. And I said, Haskell, come on, it's going to look like day for night. It's going to look bad. I can't. Anyway, we argued, and he said, and I finally said, look, I want to go down to 22. He goes, George, you won't see anything. It will be black. It will be night. You will not see anything. I said, no, come on, we've done this before. I know I can do this. It'll work. He says, okay, if that's what you want. We shot it. Dailies came back, and it was black leaving. And this is on a 28-day schedule. So then Haskell came and gave me the we can do it again, and we shot it at 6. But he has been a very, very good friend and a great cameraman and a rare talent, supporter, mentor. And I guess I got to give you this award, but I'm going to have to go over. It's right there. You take the mic. Something.
George, you people don't know. The first place, to me, George is the kid, and we met because we both loved cars, and when we talked about cars, George had this tremendous drive, this passion that he wanted to be a filmmaker, but he was a shooter. And hold this microphone.
I know what's coming here.
This is the camera that George used, the NPR Eclair, and
I must say, Haskell was the Eclair genius. Nobody used Eclairs in the United States. He used 35mm Eclairs to shoot movies, and I used a 16 Eclair.
But you were a good shooter, George, and George would hold the camera. You people have video cameras. You don't understand this, but you have to have your eye into the eyepiece. And of course, he was smaller, but he would hold it down like this. Normal people would have the camera like this.
Normal meaning Haskell.
Yeah.
that is the way Haskell. That's the way Haskell taught me to shoot. But this thing, whether you realize it's really heavy. I would shoot like that.
But we're talking about 30 odd years ago, 6 years ago. And yeah.
This was the Lifetime Achievement Award presented to you, and it couldn't go to a better person, a better talent, a more significant person to the growth of the film industry in the 70s, that golden age that everybody talks about. This is one of the key players, one of the real inspirations and motivators for that whole movement in the 70s, because you look at the features that he shot and the people he worked with and the directors he inspired. It's just astounding. But he is sort of the heart and soul of the 70s Renaissance. Haskell Wexler.